Hi, my name's Glenn. This is Karen, my wife, and this is our bus. Hello everyone. So today I'm working on the bus again, and it's been about 105, 107, 110 degrees here in Yakima. Pretty hot to work on the bus. And also we've been getting a lot of smoke from some of the forest fires that are close by. So what I'm doing here is today I'm gonna be pulling all the insulation down because I'm ready now to get it ready to spray foam the ceiling. So I went ahead and ordered the spray foam. I got that stuff called Tiger foam, and the two large canisters pretty much are rated to cover almost the exact square footage of what I have. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. If I don't do it just right, then I'll end up short and I'll have to get more. So what I plan on doing when I spray this, I'm going to spray all the wide open areas all the way down through the roof, and I'm going to leave some of the smaller tight spaces that I can just catch either with some spray foam in a can, or once I get all the large areas covered, and then if I have any left, I'll start going through and doing some of those smaller cavities and stuff. And I just want to try to make sure that I get the best coverage that I can out of the two bottles originally. So anyway, so I'm going to do that. And I've got a piece of 3/8 inch OSB that is curved up, with the bus here, and it looks like it'll take the curve just fine. I just experimenting here. I put some wood in here, and I've got a screw through here into the wood, and then I also have this wood, the edge of it is fastened by screws up behind here into the flange, the other side of this, the flange on the other side of this strong back here. So I've got screws all the way down through and in each end, and that's gonna give support to the end of the OSB here. And really the support that it's giving, it's just keeping it from going up further. And then when I go to hang cabinets and stuff in here, of course, I'm not going to rely on the strength of this totally. The front of the cabinets will be more out here, and so I'll be fastening that to the actual steel framework and stuff. Besides that, besides the OSB. So it should be strong enough. And then I've got a gap here. I made the wood small enough here, ripped it down enough so I can put foam up behind here to create a thermal break between the wood and the ceiling. And then that way, if there's any condensation taking place up in here, it won't get to the wood or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully, anyway, we'll see how that goes. Can't get it 100%. Also, I've spray foamed the inside of the roof cavities here, or the framework, and I'm not sure how effective that is. I checked it with my laser thermometer, whatever you call it, and and it doesn't really make any difference that I can tell. So anyway, it's done and it'll be okay. And I don't really even know if it even cured up in there right. So what I'll do is I'll take a drill and I'll just drill a hole up in here and just pull it out and see what the material looks like. From what I understand, if it doesn't have enough air, it'll just stay kind of mushy and stuff. So I'll check that out, but it really doesn't matter at this point because it's already done and it's already up in there. So, but anyway, and then besides this this OSB being here, I'm also going to include, or at least I'm thinking about including this 1/2 inch layer of iso board, which is R2.5. So this iso board will go between the OSB and the framework so that I have continuous insulation over all of it. And I'm hoping that this will bend enough. I just got the sample piece. I need to get a big piece so I can try it. But if it'll bend enough to the curvature of the roof here, then I think that'll make a pretty good ceiling. So it'll be a little bit lower, 1/2 inch lower than what I would care to have it be, but I think it'll make a pretty good insulation. So between the iso board and the spray foam, this ceiling should be 15, the insulation value. So of course, not the whole thing. It's going to be R2 and 2.5 at the framework, but for the most part, the ceiling would be R15. So anyway, so I'm going to pull out the insulation today. We'll see how that goes. And then I also want to do some things to further get ready for the spray foam. So thanks for watching, everybody. So I've got a majority of the insulation removed. The ceiling is really in nice shape. I've already done some repairs to the rust areas, but other than that, it's really actually quite nice. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll finish scraping off these last bits of insulation so that I get good adhesion with the spray foam. And then places like this, I'm going to go through before I spray foam the whole ceiling. I'll go through and just hit this with some foam in a can, fill this up behind here, back here, that kind of stuff behind these kinds of things. That way as I'm spraying the major or the whole thing with the foam, I don't run into all these little tiny quirks that I'm having to work with during the process. That way I can just spray all the big areas and I don't have to sit there and try to get in behind some little spot like this, as I'm going. So, and then I'll also foam some of this stuff in here, back in these holes and whatever back in here. So that way I'm just doing wide swaths with the foam in a can, with the spray foam. So, and even if I did spray foam on the whole thing from here up, I could even fill this with foam in a can if I had to or whatever. And I'm not even going to worry about this right now down here, because I'll hit that, I'll pull that out, just use foam in a can on that. That way I'm not messing around with that 2-part process so much, because I want to make sure I have enough to cover the whole ceiling. Plus, you got to be pretty timely with it. You can't leave it just sit, and you can't leave it sit for 30 seconds or whatever. You got to just keep rolling. So as long as I can not worry about some of these little areas, then I can just concentrate on the big stuff. So anyway, so I'm gonna finish cleaning up this fiberglass, and then I'll go through and drill all my holes in this flange all the way down, so that I can finish mounting my wood like this. And I'll spray foam in between here with foam in a can all the way down, and that should be pretty good. Also, the OSB that's going to come down, it's going to come down to here, and it's just going to stop on the back side of this. And then when I do from here down, I'll just do it at an angle from here down like this, and I'll fill this whole cavity with insulation at that time. So So I'll still hit this with the foam from the Tiger foam, but I'll probably have to end up adding maybe some more fiberglass over the top of that, just so I can fill that whole cavity. And then I'll figure out a way also to get for a wiring chase, that kind of a thing, because I don't really plan on doing any wiring ahead of time, because all my wiring is gonna be in the cabinets and behind chases and things like that, so I'm not gonna bury wires inside the walls, with the exception of maybe two fantastic fans that I'll put in. I don't have a real tight layout with the bus yet, so the problem is if you don't have that, then if you go to install a fan, or a area for a fan, then it may end up having to change. So I'm gonna try to locate those in a pretty general area, so that I know I'm not gonna end up wanting to put a wall right over the top of the thing or something like that. So anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've reached the halfway point here on the ceiling. So I'm probably just gonna go take a break for a little bit. It's a lot of hard work doing this. It's starting to get pretty hot out here. And but I'll get the rest of this cleaned up today and see what I can do next. Okay, so just for the sake of finishing up this video on cleaning up the ceiling and getting ready to spray foam the bus, I've got all the wood in along here, all the way down, and both sides. I've got most everything spray foamed, or pre-foamed I should say, in these corners, these kind of areas like that above the wood. I still have to blank off some of these areas here. I don't want to be spray foaming the back of my clearance lights and things like that, obviously. And I really wasn't able to get the spray foam to go up behind some of these. It just falls out, or the foam in a can. So I'll just have to do that with the two-part system when I get back in here tomorrow. And so anyway, I just wanted to show that I have all that. Some of this I haven't quite figured out exactly what I'm gonna do just yet up in here. It's got insulation up in there, and This kind of involves getting into the sealing of the sealing, not sealing CEI, but sealing SEAL, and of the windshield. So I haven't really ventured into that. It just seems like that's really just another can of worms that I don't even really have a plan for at this point. So if I change something with that later, I can, you know, insulate that at the time. So that's where I'm at now. And today I'm gonna come in here and finish doing any pre-foaming. I'm gonna get all my plastic down. I've got my plastic in the truck, put it on the floor, the walls, the ends, wherever I'm not gonna spray foam. And hopefully that'll get things ready for tomorrow's actual application of the two-part system. So we'll see how that goes. And thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.